following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
Hashfalt can see Uryu's betrayal coming, but can he see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? On this episode of the Toonami Faithful Podcast, I am your host, Sketch, and with me, I have...
Bob Skrillo, the founder of ToonamiFaithful.com.
And...
Kuro, your co-host for the podcast.
And...
editorial writer who remembers that it's all about that cinnamon. Laser Kid.
And...
a guy who doesn't like Lucky Charms. It's Dreaming Steve.
There's a lot of sugar.
And we have a wandering Ronin returning to the podcast.
It's the head samurai Darrell, Maddox. It's been so long since I've been on this podcast. Glad to be back, y'all.
Glad to have you, Bay. It has been a bit, but we absolutely had to have you on to talk about Bleach.
Yeah.
So we made it happen. And I thank you all for joining me on a night we don't usually do this. However, spoiler alert, we will start recording on Sundays regularly, starting now. Starting now. But this is a special podcast where we will be just talking about the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. We'll talk about the last two episodes that aired and kind of our thoughts of the whole story arc thus far. And we will also have another podcast this week, which Kuro will be hosting, talking about the shows that aired on Toonami this week. But let's get right into it, because we have two episodes of Bleach to talk about here. Episode 39, The Visible Answer. The Soul Reapers advance toward the Warfelt, led by Shunsui. And in the meantime, Hashfalt confronts Uryu, questioning his loyalty and implying a future betrayal. For you see, while Hashfalt is currently Yuabaha's absorbing the Mimi
We were calling him
Hagi.
Gesundheit.
We are, but I'm trying to stay on track here. So while Yuabaha absorbs the Mimi Hage through his Odin sleep, as I like to call it, he and Gesundheit are currently exchanging powers. This was explained in the previous episode in his backstory, how he completes Yuabaha. So currently he has the all-seeing eyes of the Almighty and can see the future to an extent. Urahara, Shinji, Momo, Rukia, Byakuya, and Soifon battle Gerard the Valkyrie, aka Dime Store Thor, who is, in typical Quincy fashion, defeated only to reveal he has this miracle power which converts any damage inflicted upon him into an increase in his size. Okay. And he's all like, yes, I commend you, captains, for bestowing this much damage to me. By the way, Renji is alive. He was saved by the Wizards who healed him up. Yay! Glad Renji's okay, because I would have been really upset if he lost to Uryu and that was just the end of him. That would be really stupid.
That would be really stupid.
And he does kind of come in clutch right here, but ultimately it's no use because this guy, like all Quincy's, have ridiculously stupid powers. And speaking of those, Askin has incapacitated Ichigo, Orihime, and Chad, and reveals that Gerard and Pernita were not granted shrifts by Yuabaha because they already had innate abilities. Those, we already know that Pernita is allegedly the Soul King's left arm, And apparently Gerard might be, in fact, the embodiment of the Soul King's heart. Okay. Not sure why all the Soul King's body parts want to be Quincy, but
They're pulling some Harry Potter shit, man. Those are
yeah.
Horcruxes.
Yeah. And Askin is about to kill the trio when Yoruichi intervenes, allowing the three of them to press onward and find Yuabaha. And Yoruichi and her brother Yushiro battle Mr. Askin for an ass whooping. And Yushiro proves quite strong, actually. Like, this kid throws hands. Unfortunately, after that ass beating, Askin becomes immune to Yushiro's spiritual pressure and then impales the boy. We just can't get a win here. And Hashbolt and Yuryu are still having their tense conversation when it just so happens that Ichigo's team arrives. He's like, ah, yes, an opportunity to prove your loyalty. And meanwhile, in the world of the living, Ishin and Ryukin finally get off their asses and do something. It's about time. Should I just go ahead and roll right into the next one?
Yeah, do it.
All right.
Do it.
It's
In
a short
my-
episode.
In my last words, Gesundheit is confronting Uryu and claiming he already foresaw his intentions and orders him to prove his loyalty by killing Ichigo, Orihime, and Chad. Meanwhile, Gerard hunts down the battered Soul Reapers until the Vizards gather up and they're like, all right, well, you can beat captains, but can you beat us? And they put on their masks and look really badass. Yeah. Yoruichi continues to battle Askin while protecting her injured brother. And down in the Serite, remains of the Birdman fall down and begin spewing smaller bird clones. But they're recouped pretty fast by Izuru. Hey, he's okay! I thought that guy died. It looked like he died. Maybe he's also a zombie. Did Creepy Mayuri revive him too?
Yes.
I guess we'll get the answer eventually. So finally, Ichigo and Uryu face off. A lot of words are exchanged that basically amounted to, why are you doing this? Depending on your reason, I'm going to beat some sense into you. And if I don't like your reason, I'm going to beat some sense into you. And if I do like your reason, I'm going to beat some sense into you.
Basically,
Okay, buddy.
basically just a
He's
conversation
on the-
between me and Paul, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Seems legit.
Go on.
And to the surprise of no one, Uryu finally reveals his true motive. And yes, this is to the surprise of no one. We all saw this
Nobody.
coming.
Yes.
And especially Gesundheit saw it coming. He did not join Yuabaha out of loyalty. He did it to stop him. Finally getting back to that journal that Uryu read, his grandfather and master, Soken Ishida, discovered that Yuabaha's revival cost countless Quincy lives. We already know this. Uryu wants to send the trio back home using his sun key, but Hashfeld is like, aha, I foresaw that you would do that, so I destroyed the gate. So now Uryu's gonna fight Gesundheit while Ichigo's group once again goes ahead to confront Yuabaha while he stays, and he's like, this won't be the last time I see you. All right, buddy. Good luck. But this is opportune, right? If Gesundheit's got Yuabaha's powers right now, it's a great time to go kill Yuabaha, you would think. Except the Bambis already tried to do that, and it did not go well for them. Little Toto is all like, you were supposed to be asleep, as she falls down in a bloody mess. And elsewhere, Ishin and Ryukin have used Soken's old sun key. I guess this is the thing that the Stern Ridders used to get around. And they have activated a different gate of the sun to enter the Four-Belt. So they're here. Hopefully, they're going to do something worthwhile. And that is where it ends. And you're like, boy, I hope there's something worthwhile after the credits. No, it's Mr. asking for an ass beating, doing some stupid shit.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm pretty sure David Mills had a whole lot of fun recording that. Yeah. So that's where we're leaving off. I really wonder what they're gonna do for the last 12 something episodes. But I suppose they could stretch out that fight a really long time.
You just have to wait a year to find out. Is the anticipation killing you?
Nope.
It's clearly not killing Kuro.
I do want to know how this ends. Promise.
Oh, I know how it all ends, so it's good.
Yeah, but they did say that there might be some changes. There's already been some changes, though.
Yeah, the
fairly
last
minor.
part, they're actually adding quite a bit from what I've heard.
Yeah, this is a director's cut, so Kubo's gonna take another swing at it. Hopefully it turns out better than the first time.
If they
should be,
don't
if
do them
nothing else, a
dirty,
lot
man,
less
then it
rough.
should be okay. That's the whole thing, because like we know how like the first seasons of Bleach, like before it took so long to get to it, they pretty much did it dirty and didn't want to finish it up. He actually has more support this time around, so things have actually been better. And the fucking animation has always just been beautiful. Yeah, they rushed
Sure
a couple
has.
of things. They have rushed a couple of things. One of the things that did piss me off about the thousand-year blood war was Ruby's literally taking fucking L's left and right, man. Even when they like leveled up and got like, it seemed like as soon as they had a damn it knocked 5 steps, which was infuriating to me.
See,
Out of
I'm not the
every
only one that thought that. I'm not the only one that thought that.
I'm pretty sure we're all
No,
in
he's-
agreement.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, my ass literally ache every damn time because I'm like, damn, third raiders are literally playing dirty as hell. Soul Reapers like they're strong, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, they got the upper hand. Nope, get your ass down. I mean, look here, old man Yama's death was probably one of the things that pissed me off the most, man. Like that was just like a fucking sucker punch all the way. Old man Yama should have still been alive right about now, but I digress. Let's get back into it.
I think the number one question after seeing these episodes is, what are you doing? Is this a good plan at all? I think we can all agree it's not.
No.
But let's
this
talk
is
about it.
No.
a terrible
Does he
plan.
ever have good plans? Really?
It's a very Uryu plan, but that's the problem.
That
Yeah.
is the problem.
I find this so frustrating because you could kind of see this coming a mile away. Okay, so let's say that he read something in the diary that makes him think that he is able to overcome this god power. But waiting until this creature has completely surpassed any point of vulnerability. I mean, he doesn't seem to like even to the point where he's betraying his friends. He's excluded any possibility of being able to gain any allies. He hasn't let anybody in on his plan, obviously. He willingly participated in slaughter himself. So okay, so if let's say the best case scenario is Uryu is just really, really single-minded or extremely clever. Like maybe he's got a great idea and he thinks the only way this will work is if I get really close to him and let him get right on the verge of being all powerful. But the fact is, Uryu had no way of knowing this was all going to play out this way. I mean, he just didn't know that everything was going to build up until after he joined the organization. So I don't give him that benefit of the doubt. So ultimately, if his plan was just to get to the point where he could be close to him, and kill him, well, the moment that he realized that this guy could read minds, which he talks about literally all the fucking time, would have been the big red flag to bail on that plan and come up with something else. This is just incredibly frustrating, like plot wise. Like it's not it's not good writing. And I understand that to some extent, maybe you could excuse that because this is a teenager and a teenager may not have the level of forethought that you would expect an adult to have. Okay? Sure, but like I feel like then I'm just giving excuses to this character and what amounts to a poorly written plot device that it was all meant to give in to the trope of this shonen, the way that the shonen works out, where you have the best friend betrayer who actually had his own very obvious motive and everybody saw it, including his own fucking team. And if you're adding to that, then why on the other side of this would Yobaha invite him into his inner circle and knowing that he was going to betray him because he can see the future, invite him in and make him like his, second, third in command. He elevates him above all the other stern writers after he's been there for 5 minutes. There's just a lot of holes in this whole thing, and I find it incredibly irritating. Like, it's not even something that I can watch and be like, oh wow, that was a great twist, that was such an amazing plot twist. All I can think is like, yeah, everybody saw this coming and this is really irritating, do better. It just feels it feels really emblematic of my problem with this whole series, is that the writing and the plot is secondary to the beautiful visuals. Great fights, like very tournament art style where you have these one-on-ones, but doesn't feel like a war. There's constant escalation on the quote bad side, and there just isn't enough like deep plot explanation of how and why things are going the way they're going. It's just failure after failure with a small gain, and then nonsensical motivations for characters. So I the whole Oreo thing, like it's completely representative of everything, all the problems that I had with this entire arc as it stands.
Yeah, no, that's all fair. That all checks out.
Yeah.
Jesus, Kuro, leave something on the bone for us. Jeez.
Well, Paul, before the bone is completely picked, how about you share your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, first of all, let me just say that at least this season got better towards the end of it, because it was just getting really annoying. Like every other episode, some Soul Reaper was getting murdered or decapitated or whatever, and it was just like, okay. And then they're throwing their best moves at these guys, and they're just like, oh wait, we're invincible. It's like, okay, so what's the point of this series now if you're just gonna make these guys invincible? Which thankfully that started to finally, come out, even out, so to speak. I was gonna I need to touch on that of what Kuro was saying. Like, I don't get how Yuabaha was like, okay, I want him in my crew, even though I know he's gonna betray me. So it's like, okay, so what's your? It is, well, it's
Jesus had
arrogance, but it's more like, is there a deeper reason that you kept him? Like, I hate to say this, but is this asshole going to absorb him eventually or something? Like, he's
Seems
absorbing
likely.
everything else. Like, what
Seems very likely.
Yeah, it does. It seems very
I
likely.
mean, he
that
gave him a
something like this
shrift,
can happen.
so yeah.
So, I mean, that always bothered me. It's funny though that Achu, I'm gonna call him Achu, Kazuntai, whatever, uh all of a sudden is the one that's like, prove your loyalty. By the way, I can see what you're about to do. So either prove your loyalty or I'm gonna kill you, basically. And it's like, well, wait, why are you the one and not Yuabaha? I understand Yuabaha's doing his thing over there, and you're absorbing his power while he's doing that. Whatever. But it's like, if Yuabaha knew about this already, and he hasn't killed him, and like you said, Sketch, and I think it was you that said this, that he was like number 2, number 3, or was that you, Kuro? I'm sorry.
Fox Fault is number 2, and Oreo is
Yeah.
supposed to be a successor, I guess.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like, okay, so if you're gonna make him number 3, or number 2, number 3, whatever,
His successor versus his
yeah.
right hand, to be technical.
Right. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So if that's the case, then why would you do that if he's going to betray you? That part is like, okay, you better explain that first off in season 4 here, because Jesus Christ, like that needs to be explained immediately.
Can they also explain the power switching thing, because I don't feel like that was truly explained. And maybe Laser, you can explain this
I
to
don't
me.
feel like it was really explained. It was just kind of mentioned that this is a thing that happens.
Like, we know
yeah.
the episode 38, he said he has a similar power to Yubaha's, and then the next episode he's like, we've temporarily switched abilities, and that's all we get. Like, how is this feasible, and why? What does this even mean? Do we know? Is that in the manga? Can they explain it to us?
If it's in the manga, I have no idea. But honestly, all I know is that they can. That's about all I can tell you.
Oh, great. So we don't know that either.
Maybe Darrell can shed some light on that.
No.
No.
Well,
all right, fair enough.
So I mean, I guess it was. It wasn't really explained, but it was said that because he doesn't have a normal Quincy power.
Yeah, he's
but
able
he
to
can-
make Roller Quincy's more powerful. That we knew.
Right. Yeah. So I mean that makes sense, but then it's like, so where does the absorption come in though? Because it's like, okay, we know this part, but what about this other part? So it's like, I don't get that. But there again,
They
I
really
mean,
did.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they really didn't give a real good explanation on it, man. You know, it's kind of like he's an emotional support, Quincy, in some way on this shit.
That's pretty funny.
I love that. I love that.
That's the name of the episode.
That's the name of the episode.
Emotional
I'm gonna
support
write it down
Quincy.
right now.
Oh my
Emotional
God, that's
support
amazing.
Quincy. I love it. I love it.
Oh, God. I mean,
so good.
it was just so freaking vague about it. Like, it literally did leave me wondering, like, what the fuck
I'm
is
going to
this
be
goddamn
completely
over
honest
this?
with you. As much as I have enjoyed the score, a lot more than you guys have, a lot of the things that happen because they say they. It's light on
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah, you have to accept it, and I understand that. I think we're just coming from like a place with a lot of these anime where, with shonen especially, where things are explained and over explained over the course of the series, and then when they give us something big, like even Yuabaha himself. Okay, so we know his motivations. He's kind of a megalomaniac. He is a megalomaniac. But like, what is he? What physically is he? That
Yeah.
has not been explained to my satisfaction at all. I don't know what this
No.
thing
He
is.
is
Absolutely.
the son of the Soul King.
Yep,
He
I was going
said
to say the
that.
same thing.
And he
But,
hates his
like,
dad.
Okay.
No, he
What does
doesn't
that-
hate his dad. He hates what happened to his dad.
But what does that mean though? Like,
Yeah, what-
okay,
like,
yeah,
I
he's
need
the
a little-
son.
I need a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
more.
I'll give you a little
backstory.
breakdown. Basically, the four noble houses actually killed the Soul King. And then what they
Is this
end up
spoiler
doing was they.
territory? I feel like this might be
Yes.
spoiler territory.
This is-
Yeah.
Well, yes and
you
no,
know,
because it's now we're talking about Fear Your Own World, which is a bunch of books.
Okay.
like I said, read the lore, y'all. I'm not gonna give spoilers. I'm gonna just shut up. But the thing is, if you really want to get technical in the reason why York is on this kind of little kick, man, the four noble houses actually has a lot to do with like the shit and the reason why all
So
this
you-
actually went down. And then
Using only stuff that we know here, you saw the state of the guy. He was all cut up into pieces and trapped in a crystal.
Oh yeah.
In order to hold the worlds together, and Iwabaha
they basically
hated that
Jurassic
and
Park his
blames-
ass.
and basically he hates that they did that to his old man, and he hates that they use that to bring worlds apart like that, and that's effectively why he's doing what he's doing.
But it's also said that all Quincy's are within their own blood angry at the Soul King for what he allowed to happen to the Quincy.
Yes, that is true.
It's just a weird.
Oh, Oh yes, very much. So.
explanation. Just
Oh, I mean, you're not wrong.
If you look at it, man, it's like family. It's like real bad family drama. It's like the family reunion, man. Cousins are literally at each other's throats on this, man, because Ichigo pretty much is like the bastard child. Is like out of wedlock, but somehow got settled with everything. You know, he's basically just part of everybody. And now, like, it's basically like, who's gonna succeed the throne now? Like, you know, Ichigo's basically the redhead stepchild that's like really got to save and put everything back together. If you really want to go about it this way, because it is screwed up. Like I said, it is the family reunion from hell on this, and everybody got a bone to pick with each other.
So what you're saying is his cousins slept together, and that's how Ichigo came to be. Gotcha.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about Buck Snort, Tennessee here, sir. Don't do that.
But I'm thinking back to the previous time when Ichigo's trying to get a straight answer out of Uryu, and he's all like, "How can you possibly side with Yuabaha?" And I know he's just playing the part here, but he really asked Ichigo, "How can you not side with him after knowing what's happened?" It's like, bro, he killed both our moms. Of course we don't want to side with him.
Yeah.
Forget everything else. But I mean, don't forget everything else. He's caused a lot of tragedy.
Wait,
Exactly.
the other thing I'm wondering is if Gesundheit had Yuabaha's powers when he killed his friend there, because I was like, he doesn't have any normal Quincy powers and he enhances, so it can't be that he just all of a sudden has a power now, because that's not how it is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he did when he killed Basby.
I mean, he figured out a way to manipulate Reishi the same way the Yobaha did, I suppose. I mean, he was basically his right hand, so he might have picked up a couple techniques over the centuries.
Yeah.
It was a little heartless, though.
Well, you know, that actually makes me wonder if Gesundheit, I love how we're calling him that.
I mean, it's just kind of a running joke at this point.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Yuabaha has always been feeding him power, just because
Yeah.
I feel like this dude is so overpowered that he can't hold all of it and he has to put it somewhere.
Yeah, I think so. But also his like passive ability, Gesundheit's passive ability is to increase the power of other Quincy's. So he also might be enhancing the power of Yuabaha by just being in his presence. Maybe. Or maybe it's the other way around. Oh yeah. Something about their unique abilities makes them the completion of this pairing, which, you know, Yuabaha searched for centuries for this type of individual. But we have Gesundheit out here being like, I'm gonna take things into my own hands to protect his majesty. Like, okay, buddy. I don't know if he necessarily wants you to do that, but he already foresaw that you would, I'm sure. But I do like that moment where Uryu's like, oh, well, if that surprises you, that means something can still surprise you, and that's a good thing.
And that
You can't
shows
see it
you
all.
he's not a complete dunderhead. He has some cleverness about him. You know, I just don't know how his cunning is fitting into an overall plan, because it just seems really
not.
like based off of luck. He's there and he's just gonna hope for the best and use whatever little trump card he's got in his back pocket that's gonna ultimately win in the end, because it's so obvious where this is going.
Bruh already signed the blood pack. He's screwed.
It's just and you know, for such a beautiful show with such big story and big action, they really do mime out the plot in a way. Like, it's not in a way, but actually, quite frankly, they do mime out the plot. The fact that we even knew this was going to happen with Ureo, the fact that we figured out this stuff about Ichigo and being Ichigo Jesus, and you know, it's a lot of these like big big things that should be essential plot twists are very easy to figure out. It's I would like to see those story twists be a lot better embedded, a lot a lot more cleanly written, I guess, a lot more twisty.
Yeah. Steven, before we move on, what are your thoughts on Uryu's master plan?
He had a plan.
Good response.
It seems like his plan was. I mean, you could have. I don't know. It seems like his plan was to do this whole like heel turn at the right time and kill him himself because he hated living a whole life without his mother and everything else. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of tropey in that sort of way. But I mean, it seems like he had no plan going in, but there was always a plan. It's like someone telling you, "I had the plan going in," and then you see him behind your back, like struggling, like with like 20 different sheets of paper running around, and filing through it all and trying to figure it out. It's like you had a plan. No, your one plan and your goal was to rise up through the ranks, make it up to like the highest echelon levels and then off the guy so you can either kill him or become the new, Quincy King or whatever, you wanted to. So I don't know. And then you had you had the Soul King, or not the Soul King, you had the Gesundheit over there sleeping on the job, which, it seems like a it seems like a thing that they just took out of Thor, where the
It's Odin
All
sleep.
Father.
It's like
Yeah,
Temu
yeah,
Thor.
yeah. It's
Oh,
Temu Thor.
you're not
Well,
talking about the Quincy
no,
Thor, are you?
no, I'm talking about
Oh,
Temu
okay.
Odin over there, Gesundheit. He's sleeping for like one whole day to recharge his powers, like he's like some guy with a charger bank, and he has to sit there and like charge up and everything. And it's like, so, and now since he gave, so we know that he gave his power to the other dude. Um, and that guy just wanted his power the whole time, but then he foreseen this all happening. It's convoluted, but I mean it's a fun story, but it's convoluted. You need to wrap your head around it. So I don't think personally no one had a plan. Ichigo had the most formation of a plan, and
And
he
it's
has
still
no
not a
plans.
plan.
Yeah.
It's still not a plan.
I mean, other than
His
that,
plan is find Yuabaha, fight him.
yeah. That and you know what?
He's already
that
failed
plan,
twice at that, by the
yeah.
way.
You know what?
Well, you
Hey,
know what? He's gonna keep at it.
Yeah, he fall down 7 times, get up 8. He's on Toonami.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
He's
All
nothing
right.
if not persistent and tenacious.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. It's not a good plan. But I'm hoping that his father and Ichigo's father have a good plan. One would hope that their presence will matter in any significant way.
It's about time they stepped in. I mean, I would think they would be interested in the outcome, life or death situation of their children at this point,
Yeah. Yeah.
considering both of them have significant abilities of their own.
Yup.
It'll be really cool, actually. That's something I'm looking forward to. That'll be really cool to see their dads come in and how that'll play out. I want to say though, I don't feel like an overall disparaging feeling about the presence of Bleach as it's been with this arc on the block. I think it really belongs here. I think overall it's been a positive presence because it's kind of a staple and it's just got these really big visuals. There's been a lot of fun, weird moments. I don't think just because my personal feelings about the failings of the plot indicate that it didn't belong here or that it shouldn't have run. I think that we come here and we critique and we nitpick because it's just our experience watching it, and I'd be probably having those feelings if I were watching it even without this podcast. But in general, I don't want my negativity to overshadow the fact that Bleach is really a Toonami staple, and it's really a good thing that they did air this arc in spite of my misgivings about the poor writing.
We critique because we care.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, Bleach is an old soldier. It's an important piece of Adult Swim Toonami, and it's great to have it back. And
on the positive side, we were not inundated with filler arcs that had absolutely no relevance long term and really interrupted in the middle of the fucking battle, because that's where I'm at with the OG season. And I gotta say, I'm like, wow, is this what it was like all the time? Holy cow. Holy cow. Yeah,
Yes, it was.
to its
God,
credit,
it wasn't any filler.
yeah, to its credit, they did this all filler free. They just focus. I can't see how they would have added a filler. That would have really badly disrupted the flow of the show. It did it, to its credit, it went from one moment to the next fairly
What's funny is
fluidly.
if your definition is add additional content, it's got plenty of filler, but it's because it's a director's cut.
Yeah, like they give backstories, they give a little extra padding to enrich things.
They
It's
gave
not.
Squad Zero a decent fight.
Yeah.
Maybe I should finger quotes decent.
It's better than it was in the manga from everything I've heard from
That was
everyone I know.
embarrassing.
Like, apparently it was considerably less.
Wow.
Darrell might be able to answer that better than I can.
That's
I just know what I've been told.
I mean, it would be great to see things like Chad not sucking. Like, give Chad, his Chadness
Give
back.
Chad a moment, man.
Yeah. Make the Vizards like have their moment too, because that will be really annoying if they don't. Going forward, I'd like those are just some things I'd like to see.
Can we hit this guy enough that he explodes?
You mean the Temu Thor?
Yeah,
Quincy?
yeah, him.
Yeah.
Isn't that how it works when you have somebody that absorbs power? You just keep hitting them with more power until they can't take it anymore. That's classic.
Yeah.
They did it in Dragon Ball. I know they did it in lots of other things, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't see that going any other way. That's honestly the only way that.
Yeah, how else do you deal with
out.
that? It's such a ridiculous power. Whatever. We needed a giant guy out of it. Not that Pernita wasn't already somehow giant, but could also be very small. Yeah, makes sense of that. Whatever. I recall Laser saying that he felt that this was his favorite part thus far, and elaborate, sir.
Felt like this part in particular, the third core of Thousand Year Blood War, really upped the stakes without doing a lot of things that the previous seasons did. In terms of, yeah, everything feels like it's dire, but at the same time, it also doesn't feel like it's impossible. Characters start winning when they need to. I really enjoyed the character focuses. We got to see some cool moments from Ren. I love the hinting at what's going on with Ryu. We all knew what was going on with Ryu, but there's hinting when he's fighting Renji because he doesn't kill the guy. And there's commentary between them that kind of goes, hey, what's going on here? So it doesn't feel like his betrayal comes out of nowhere. I love that. I love the fights. I love the backstories that we get with Kyoraku and Nanao in particular. I really love that.
That is good.
I really enjoyed the backstory with Bazby and Hashwolf. I felt like it gave both characters way more depth than I expected them to have. They became a lot more interesting because of it. I care a lot more about what's going to happen to Gesundheit than I did before that. Before that, I would just like, screw you, Gesundheit.
Yeah, it made it more interesting. I agree.
Yes.
It did.
Everything got fleshed out in this particular core, where I feel like there's a lot more going on. Could there have been more? Absolutely, definitely. but everything that was fleshed out really well. And I feel like the balance on the fights was a lot better in this core than in prior cores. And honestly, it's the finale that really sticks with me. It's everyone's together. We're finally where everyone wants it to be. The team's back together. We're gonna go take on Iwabaha. How can you not be hyped for that?
They did cut off some of the time though. That was a little annoying. It was a shorter episode.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the previous season's finale.
I did not care
That's
for the
such an
hey,
odd tactic.
what's
Yeah.
gonna happen? I'm gonna sit here and talk to you about weird stuff.
And then he
okay,
like
guy.
admitted, I'm just filling time because the producers say so. That's actually pretty funny.
I actually did like that. That was actually very funny.
Like, well, we knew what was happening, but at least you admitted it.
Hey man, if they can admit it, that's always nice.
Yeah.
But honestly, it left me energized. It left me excited. I really like that for it. It definitely has flaws, but I felt like it was a Bleach adventure, and the stakes being high just makes it. It's the final arc. I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
A most excellent point of view.
Like, I'm not trying to say you guys are wrong for your misgivings. I totally
Not
get
at
where you're
all.
coming
I
from.
find your perspective refreshing and a good counter to my own.
Yeah. I think good perspective. So we've seen a lot. This arc has had its ups and downs, and I guess I just want to talk about some of the highlights and maybe the lowlights. So
You sure you want to open that can?
let's focus on the highlights, because there's definitely a lot of interesting, fun, cool, informative stuff that's happened in the past 40 episodes, and I just want to talk about some of the ones that stand out to us. So let's start with Mr. Darrell.
Sir, I kind of missed that question.
What are some of your favorite moments from the entirety of the first 40 episodes so far?
Let's see. Honestly, man, seeing I gotta say, Kenichi just really doing the shit that he always do, man. That dude does the fucking impossible, man. I mean, he literally just told dude he pushed beyond his limits, and dude just was like, thought that he had him on lock, and he told him he's like, I'm gonna cut this because I believe it. This dude literally believed in himself so fucking much that he took the OP from a character that was supposed to be OP. Also, I really did love the relationship that he had with Captain Unohana, man. And like the thing is, he knew, when they continued to fight, like the last little bit, man, that he knew this was the last time they was gonna fight, man. He literally was just decimated inside and emotionally, man. And that's like one of the first times that I actually seen this man like really sad because he knew somebody that he respected and admired was not coming back. So that was like a defining moment with him and some character growth too, man. Because Kenichi is like fucking Black Force energy, and seriously, if his soundtrack come up, man, it's definitely gonna be Nuck If You Buck. That's probably been one of my greatest takeaways from it, man, that I've actually enjoyed. Minus the Soul Reapers getting their ass handed to them. I take W's where I can, man, with the Soul Reapers on this. But the writing I feel like it was a little bit rushed at times too, but overall for me, I'm just enjoying the ride because Bleach came back.
Yeah, very nice. Steven, what have been some highlights for you?
Let me see. I would say the first episode that it came back on Toonami, there was like a hype moment. But then
That was so hype.
when Ichigo and all of them just walked out, it was like,
And number 1 is playing. Dang.
yeah.
Chills.
That was fun. Watching all of the basically the Soul Society just get wiped out. I mean, as much as like that was like heartbreaking and like, oh my gosh, it happened. It was like, okay, they're not playing around anymore. They are getting rid of like almost main characters, people we know, and it's like, yeah, they're not playing around anymore. This went almost like full adult at certain points. Like there was so much blood getting spattered. It was painting, they're becoming red lock over there without the blue lock. Then
Jeez, Bambi ripped a guy in two.
yeah. I mean, it was crazy. All of their powers going from like A to Z using the alphabet or something. That was crazy as well. Then let's see what else. I love the title cards. The animation was fun, but the title cards, using them in different ways and like just having them like on the past few ones, the last one, my last words were the last words of of the whole show, right? It was the title card right there at the end, right? Having just like foreshadowing it or like showing it as a different angle on the scene of the battlefield, like it's right there. It's so cool how they incorporated the title into it, because other shows or anime would put it in a corner. It's some, thing. Yeah, it makes sense or something, or they had to made a title card. This is like incorporated into the show, which was like kind of cool. And I only seen that a few other times on like Super Sentai or something. And I'm like, okay, I really like that. And then the animation, of course, there was like beautiful, from like any standard of anything. They put time and effort into it, and so having it shown up there and looking at it, as much as I make fun of the story or I kind of didn't understand most of it, the quality of animation that they put together on this was a masterpiece in how you do something and how you create it and show emotion within something, even if there's no dialogue in there. It's classic, but then new. And that's something that like I appreciate, and I hope like others appreciate, because it's something really fun, but really difficult to do. And those are my like favorite things that I can think of right now. But I mean, that first episode, I don't think anything tops that, where they're just walking out, man. It was like the coolest thing. It was almost like getting the Avengers back together again.
It was.
It was saying hello to an old friend.
Yeah. Laser, highlights for you. I know you touched on some of the stuff.
I touched on stuff
particularly in this season.
for Core 3, but if I'm going to look at the whole thing as a whole, the thing that stands out to me the strongest is everything about the rain. The flashback learning what happened with Ichigo's parents is easily the strongest part of the whole shebang.
I'm such a sucker for a good backstory.
Oh, it's great. And it's so well done. It makes everything click. Everything goes into place. This feels like this part was planned forever and a day ago. And they were finally getting it. And I love that, because it just works. Everything, like, when I was new to Bleach, way back in the day, I was always going, oh, Ichigo's mom was the Soul Reaper, before I knew, oh, it was his dad. When that reveal, it was his dad, I'm like, huh? What? But mom got killed by what happened? I'm so lost. And that kind of was always stuck in the back of my head, learning that, oh, well, mom was a Quincy. Now that actually makes sense. And everything kind of clicks into place, and I love it. And I love that we got explanation for Ichigo's hollow side being so ridiculous, because it is. Isn't just random. There's a reason for it. It really worked. I really loved it. I love seeing Aizen again. I love Aizen trolling the hell out of Iwabaha. Oh, you thought you were here for a few minutes? No. And just, hey, our bad guy in the past... We're doing the Shonen Jump thing of the bad guy in the past is kind of sort of an ally right now. But we're doing it in a way that makes sense for Aizen, because he's not going to be anybody's ally, but at the same time, You put him in a chair where he's gonna die, who doesn't do anything. Yeah, he's gonna help because of self-interest. It's great. I love that.
It's a shame that they didn't take him up with them.
Indeed.
But the
Be very
logistics of
interesting.
that are troubling.
Yes. But that was fun. I love seeing all the characters get their moments, even if some of their moments were not as hyped as I'd like them to be. I actually really liked the storyline with Captain Ukitake, where we finally learned why he's always been so sickly.
Yeah,
I mean, he
that
was
was long overdue.
that was really nice. And as sad as I am that he sacrificed himself, what an Ukitake thing to do.
That's true.
It really worked. I love the battle with Yamamoto and Iwabaha. Sad that he's dead. Don't like that very much. But on the same time, he went out like a boss.
He sure did. I was gonna
And
say that fight and the fight between Kenpachi and Unohana probably the best two fights so far.
I'd agree with that. And they're very good.
They are extremely good.
And yeah, they're the animation and the coloring in particular. If you go back and watch older Bleach, it's a lot brighter. I love the more dour, dark color scheme because it fits what's going on.
Mhm.
And it really makes it, in its own way, it makes it pop. I really like the way that this is animated. It's fantastic. I just had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's really well directed. I like the visual identity of
Yeah,
Thousand Year Blood War.
that's a good way to put what I was trying to say. Yes.
Yeah. But despite having the darker tone and having, the visual aesthetic being darker overall, it can still have its moments of levity. And they
It
hit.
can. Oh
It
yes,
can be,
I agree.
I forget how absolutely hilarious Bleach can be.
It really can.
I got cracked up quite a few times. So, Paul, what have your favorite moments been of the journey so far?
Um, I actually enjoyed the towards the end here where Shunsui, the new head captain, seeing that relationship with
Yes.
niece, I would say his niece.
No,
Yeah,
now,
his
yeah.
niece.
Yeah.
No.
So that was really touching, and it kind of actually gave a better backstory on him and explained like why, like,
Yeah.
oh, why does he have that Komodo on? Why is he walking around in this? And in reality, he was honoring her mother, which we found out obviously in that episode. And then basically she had a Zanpakuto toe all along, but all of a sudden, we find out, oh, well, you can't have that because it's cursed. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Shouldn't that be my choice? Shouldn't I be able to make that choice if I want this or not? So it was interesting to see that dynamic, and it at a time where I was kind of like in this frustrated with this series. It was nice to see that just come out of nowhere and that connection, and also to see that there's this weird looking Zanpakuto that can basically do what it did to that one Quincy. It was good. I enjoyed that episode the most, I think, out of everything that I've seen. I mean, obviously, seeing Ichigo get an upgrade and then using that shortly after when he returned after getting that upgrade, getting the new Zanpakuto, that was great. But I think the bigger part was when, what was it? When he got, when, he found out that Zangetsu was basically, and after you see Yuabaha, you're like, well, wait a minute, something's not adding up here.
It's
You
been
see
the
that and you
embodiment
go,
of his Quincy power all this
right,
time.
and you're like, so wait a minute. Ichiko had
Does
all this
every
power.
Quincy have a little Yuabaha inside of them?
It could be, could be. But in all seriousness, seeing that part where like he's like, yeah, I was holding your powers back on purpose. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. So he had a final Getsuka, but he's got even more power than that. It's like, oh, okay. And then I'm still waiting for Ichigo to show his true potential, which we'll see
We have
obviously in this next season.
Not
But
seen him do a Bankai yet, which would be very interesting. We
Oh,
know
my
he's gonna
word.
have to.
Oh my word.
oh, it's gonna be awesome. It better be, because we've
I'm
been
looking
waiting
forward
way
to
too
it.
long for it. But yeah, I mean, those are kind of my moments. There, I have a lot of bad moments, which we'll get to. But yeah, those were the things that I enjoyed.
Nice. Well, Kuro, it's come to you.
I do have some that Laser didn't steal from me, you big thief. You scooper. You scooped me.
I'm sorry.
I feel like Sketch, you can guess the first one, which is Aizen. I mean, he was such a badass. He comes up and his spiritual pressure is just like neutralizing all these little creatures like it's no big deal. He's just so cool, so chill, so powerful, and it really is, it really was a moment when not just that he had this little, I thought that just seeing him, in his prison was going to be the only contribution he was going to make to this arc, but then he gets to come back and have a more significant role, albeit one that's more controlled. It just makes you wonder like how much havoc he would wreak if they did release him, because at this point he whatever his goal was, he can't accomplish it with the mess that Yubaha's left behind. So at this point it's like, just unleash the guy, just let him do what he's gonna do. It can't get any worse, I promise. I feel like he might actually be a stabilizing factor here. He was just so cool, and it was, by the time he came around, it was such a needed victory to have someone that was incapable of being defeated by the Stern Ritters. He just wiped out a few of them with like a thought, it seemed. So that was pretty refreshing to finally have a W. I also found the backstory of Ichigo's mother and also Urio's mother, both of the boys' backstories to be incredibly hype, because like that's deep lore too. That's deep story for the whole series, and it's really foundational. And those are the kinds of, it's like Naruto's mother's story. Like once you get that missing piece, a lot of things come together. And I love that kind of lore building, that kind of story building. That was well done. That was super hype. And honestly, this one, I don't know if this one might surprise you or not, but I really enjoyed seeing Creepy Mayuri fight.
I thought you mentioned that.
Just so much fun. He's very funny as a character.
He
and
is.
I like, his multiple clashes, first with Giselle, or is it Giselle? Anything Mayuri's involved in, it's not a clash of strength. It's about strategy and matching wits and, exemplifying what a mad genius he is. Like all of his grotesque experimentation, like it amounts to something that is more unorthodox, that is unexpected, and it makes it interesting. And then you add later on, the depth, the emotion of his relationship with Nemu. You have her tragic sacrifice, but also his devotion to her, something you didn't expect, and how covered it is by his own, need to keep things separate. He doesn't want to have these feelings, so it's more about keeping distance. So it's just an experiment, and I put a lot of work into this. I just found I really enjoyed seeing Creepy Mayuri, and he actually did fairly well in this arc. He lost his Zanbakuto early, and he's like, oh well, I'm out. I'm not gonna risk myself anymore until I have a better plan. He's smart. He removes himself from the situation, goes and comes up with something else. He shows up looking ridiculous with this bright ass costume, and he explains why he has it, and then he proceeds to get rid of not one but two Stern Ritters that are pretty powerful and are like systematically wiping out the rest of the crew. And he's like, I got these. These are too weird for you. Let me handle this. You know, it's pretty great. Those were my hype moments. Those were the enjoyable moments, and notably, they're ones where two of them were more victorious, and one of them was backstory, which I think really falls in line with the things that appealed to me in a series overall. So I guess it's down to you, Sketch. What were your hype moments?
Yeah, I really really was happy to finally get the backstory for Ichigo's mom and Uryu's mom and all of that to really get a glimpse into the relationship that Ishin had with Misaki,
Mm-hmm.
because we've only really gotten just the tiniest bits of that. So it was a beautiful love story. It really
Yes.
was. And I also find it really compelling how Misaki cared so much that in a moment she was like, "The hollow is sad. I'll be here for the hollow." And then Ishin shows up is like, "You don't get her. You get me." Like, oh man.
Yeah.
So freaking good. So
I
freaking
know.
good.
I know. So sweet.
And I really appreciate that even though it was occasionally kind of like abrupt and not as well fleshed out as one might prefer, just getting these moments with all of these prominent characters that have been around for a long time, but we've never really understood them that well. So just getting those moments with Shinsui and Creepy Mayuri and gosh, Unohana, like
Ukitake
yeah,
too.
Ukitake, yeah, all of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great that I'm sure Kubo was kind of like, okay, I should do something with this character. I should do something with this character. And just kind of
He threw it
crammed them,
all like
just kind of
spaghetti.
threw them all in there. It's like, all right, I
Yeah.
really wanted to explain this about them. I wanted to show this about them. It's like, okay, maybe not the most opportune time to be explaining or showing these things, but it's nice to see it regardless. And yeah, there was some awesome fights. Like the head captain Yamamoto versus Yuabaha was such an amazing fight. Holy crap.
Dude, that was bullshit, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's
beautiful, though.
absolute nonsense that
But
Yuabaha
there was
won that.
also one more, like Captain Kiyuraku actually got to show his Bankai off, and people didn't really understand
Yeah.
how deep it is. Like the relationship between him and Kaiten Kiryotsu Karamatsu Shinji, dude, it's like she's obsessed with him. Like it's a love-hate relationship, pretty much. My bad, Sketch
Yeah.
7 on that. I forgot all about that one, man. But you get to see, like you said, you get to see some real interesting stuff, man, with some of the character
Yeah.
interaction and get this people, especially people you haven't seen in a minute.
Yeah. And I like all that. We even get a chance to like catch up with some of the some of Ichigo's friends, of course. Are like, hey, by the way, Ichigo might become too powerful for the living world, but you can come visit. And also
I actually
the
really like that scene because it's like
yeah,
showing a lot of care that you might not have expected them to. I mean, not that they didn't care about him, but more thoughtfulness than I expected them to have.
yeah. And we brought back the visors, we brought back the Arankar, we brought back the why am I blanking on their names? The final thing that
Bounce.
Ichigo is.
Got the
No,
bounce.
not bounce.
Hollows?
No.
Fullbring?
Fullbring, yeah. They even brought back some of the Fullbring, and even in these last two episodes, we had a brief little bit with Rurika and the other guy, and he's like, "Nope, I'm not going."
As like the one guy that likes the Fullbring arc, I did like seeing them again.
Yeah, Fullbring was, Fullbring had its moments, but yeah, there's definitely some great stuff here. The kind of the biggest issue is, as interesting as the war between the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers is, it's all just kind of stupid. That's just how I feel. It's all just kind of stupid and needless, and maybe it was better before we knew what the Quincy's deal was. What are your thoughts on that,
Dude,
Steven?
they were
Or Darrell? What are your thoughts on that?
look at it. Quincy's like literally messing up the balance, man. Because the thing is, when they were killing like hollows, souls were actually being completely destroyed. So that caused an imbalance because souls couldn't be reincarnated into the living world from the soul society if they were completely destroyed. So in this case, man, head captain and I guess you could say what it is, the Gote 13 and Central basically decided to some necessary sacrifices, and as like all bureaucrats do,
Hmm.
they decided, hey, we're not gonna save the Quincy's from being attacked when they did ask for help, so they could actually thin the herd out so that they could create balance again, which was pretty shitty. I
Yeah.
really feel like if they would have actually just talked it out with each other,
Yeah, have an actual
then
dialogue.
they stubborn, man. Like, instead of understanding that, like, hey, what they're saying is right, or they make a good point, and we can come to some kind of understanding. Then nobody want to do that because everybody got their own ego and they stroking it. And this ain't the Crane game.
Thank you. I was wondering
It's
if that would
literally,
ever come up.
yeah, it's basically this big ass supernatural pissing game right now to see
Man,
who gonna
Gerard's gonna
outlast
need a
who.
crane, right?
It ain't big as
I
mine,
bet he's
but
compensating for something.
but yeah, seriously, if they would have just found a way to get the balance going, we probably wouldn't have all this because it's just a lot of resentment on both sides. Not to mention they talked York talked about how the current Gote 13 were weaker than the original because the original Gote 13 captains were like hardcore, like super
They were
strong.
ruthless.
I mean, they was ruthless. I'm like, well damn, where are these OP guys at? But it is what it is.
And you and Baja's all
Oh,
like,
that,
oh, you used to be so much stronger, Yamamoto. This is disappointing.
Oh man, Yama wasn't weak, man. The thing is, they took him out way too quick, man. Like I said, he died way too quick, man. I was just like, that's what we call plot armor for the villain on that one. I mean, dude literally has some Batman type plot armor on this one right here. Yes, I
Seriously.
did make that comment about Batman having plot armor.
They all have plot armor. Stupid Quincy's.
Stupid Quincy and plot armor.
Even that freaking bird guy's still around, kinda.
Exactly.
Why?
People that should have died have not died.
Make
Bleach,
him go
man.
away.
They made me so mad. But that's all I gotta say about it.
No, thanks. Yeah. Kuro, what are your thoughts on the Quincy and the Soul Reapers whole deal over this story arc?
I think I would have liked to have had a bit more mystique. I think that we talked about this during the first part of the arc where I found it a little bit strange that they would be fighting so aggressively when it was pretty obvious that they were disrupting the balance. It could literally cause the three worlds to collapse. And so what's their long-term goal here and obviously now that's played out to the fact that, well, the long-term goal is to just remake it so it won't matter. Balance is irrelevant. And it kind of makes you wonder. I feel like it's a little bit thin, like war for war's sake. And I liked it better when the Quincy element was a lot more mysterious in the early seasons. You have Uryu kind of claiming to be one of the last, and he's a living one, and there's not really many of them left. So what happened to them, and why did they hate each other so much? Like, there is certainly I would have preferred a bit more depth of lore to this conflict that played out better, but it was inevitable that this was going to be the subject, obviously. So I guess it's, it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing here will be ultimately what's this world, because obviously the show can't end with, a complete collapse of everything and no world and no soul society and nothing. Obviously there has to be some kind of medium to happy ending. So what's that going to look like, and what role will the Quincy's have in the future, such as they are left, because I don't know how many are left after having been absorbed by Yobaha. The ones that are left, I'm very curious. I mean, the interesting aspect of this being that he's essentially genocided his own people, to get there after having built up this whole war and done everything he can. He's now wiped them out, and it's not like he's left enough, like, unless he's got some kind of secret breeding program. I don't know what the plan here is.
You have a secret breeding program.
But putting that potential aside, it'll be interesting to see how the Quincy's play a role in what the Soul Society plans to do to rebuild, because obviously they still have to find, I mean, when things go back to the way they're supposed to be at the end of this, there still is a matter of how do we keep Hollows from invading Earth and causing big problems. So where are the Quincy's going to fit into this? I would like to see some kind of happy medium where everybody plays a role, everybody has a place in this world.
Well, honestly,
whoever's left.
It may be at the end of this. Remember, for the longest time, we thought the only remaining Quincy's were Uryu and his dad.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of this, it might
That
just be Uryu, his dad, and technically Ichigo.
Yeah. I have a feeling you're not too far from the truth.
Like, as far as we know, all these other ones are just gonna die.
Yeah.
Or are already dead.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
I don't think the Bambis are getting up from that, even though some of them are zombies.
Well, I'm not sure I'd want the Bambis to be the surviving Quincy's, to be honest.
No,
they're a little psycho.
Probably not. And Basby's, he's probably dead.
Oh, he's definitely dead.
That guy's so dead.
Which is too bad, because he's one that I would have liked to have seen survived.
I totally could have seen Basby become a frenemy.
Yeah, like he's got the same Arankar vibes,
Then again, I mean, we got some Arankars back that I thought were really dead. So who's really dead in Bleach?
Speaking of Arankars, Haribel was taken out off screen, and then they showed her like chained up at some point early in the first part, and then nothing. Absolutely
I forgot
nothing.
about that completely.
Yeah,
I want to see my girl chained up like that, man. I mean, in other ways, yes, but not like that, man. That was just dirty.
I don't know. I think at the time I thought, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do with Haribel. Is she gonna defect? Is she gonna fight against them? Nothing. Apparently nothing.
But we got Grimjow, who I thought was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our boy came back with a fury.
Yeah. What's Grimjow's status right now? Did he lose to Askin? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he disappeared too, and Askin's there and seems fine. So that needs a little resolution.
Don't worry, y'all know, like at the end of these series, we always get a Bleach movie, and a Bleach movie, I think this time, it's gonna be what it should literally tie up everything if they do it right, and I'm hoping that they will.
Well, Laser, you can go see it and tell me what happens.
I'm waiting for that last part still. July, man.
Yes. Which is how this relationship works. Just go see it and tell me what happens, so I won't be devastated.
Gosh.
So, Paul, what are your thoughts on the central conflict between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's?
I don't know. I mean, it's so I understand, like, okay, Soul Reapers basically wiped out the Quincy's, okay, whatever. Or, took it to a point where there were virtually no Quincy's, whatever. And then obviously, Yuabaha had been planning this all along, where at the right point, we're going to come in and we're just going to take out all the Soul Reapers and whatever. I don't know. The only thing that's the thing. Like, it to me, it was like, I don't know. I felt like that these guys were the Quincy's were like way too overpowered. And you know
Yeah.
what? Look, I get it. Like, I get it. You had all these years to prepare to do this. I get
Yeah.
it.
1,000 years.
But it's like it just seemed like it was way too much. But it also made sense when they're like, oh, we're just gonna kill most of our Quincy's and use their power. And I'm like, well, that's kind of fucked up. Like,
He's mad at what happened to the Soul King for basically the same thing he's doing.
exactly. And in a sense, I mean, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it's like Yuabaha's main goal is maybe because that is his father to, in a way, protect him by absorbing him. Just because it's like, well, you guys killed him and he was just sitting up here in pieces, basically. So I'm not going to let you have my father. I'm just going to have him. And then I'm going to use his power to reshape this world. Which in another sense is a bigger problem too, because it's like you're hurting the normal realm, not just the Soul Society, not just where the Soul King was, but you're now hurting the real world. And it's like, are you really intending on destroying the real world, or was your intention just to take out the Soul Reapers and leave it at that?
No, he
Like,
wants to rebuild the universe.
which is crazy to me.
That is crazy.
Which is absolutely crazy. It's like
that is so throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
and here's the thing, like the real world essentially doesn't know what's going on. They don't even know.
No,
that
they
there's
don't have a
world.
clue. There's like, whoa,
No.
what's with all these earthquakes?
Yeah, they think that it's just some weird thing going on, when in reality this war is now starting to spill back into the real world again. So it's like, okay, all right. I guess if you want to kill real people that have nothing to do with your little war, go right ahead, I guess. But okay. So yeah, I mean, it's just the conflict isn't. I don't know. It's. I almost feel like maybe the Soul Reapers had a point to why they took out the Quincy's at this point. It's like,
Well, they made it clear that the Quincy's that, at least in terms of the ones that were like Ryu's grandfather and such, weren't the same ones that Iwabaha had. So it's like, a little yes and a little no.
yeah, I mean, it's how do I put this? It's like this fine line that really isn't straight, if that makes sense. It's
Mm.
it's like there could have been some point of why they killed the Quincy's, but then it's like, should that have happened? Or it's just kind of that line is kind of skewed, because it looks bad on both angles at this point now. Not just the Soul Reapers, but now the Quincy's.
It does make you kind of wonder when you put it that way if maybe there was some other purpose they originally were meant to serve in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things. That the reason they have the abilities they do was for something unknown to us at this point in the story, but way back, going back to the foundation of this world and the way it's split and everything, that the Quincy's had purpose, that there was a balance they provided. It's just that they lost their way at some point along the way. And only, of course, at this point, I think only Yuabaha could answer that, but he's so crazy that he's not going to tell anybody that,
I almost think this creates an opportunity, not that they would do this, but it creates an opportunity to kind of do a prequel, so to speak, of Bleach and kind of explain how did this all start? Because
just
I
make the
think
next filler arc.
that, well, don't say filler, okay?
Isn't there like a light novel that goes into some of this stuff?
Can't fear your own world. It's like a trilogy of novels, and it fills in a lot of the lore.
I would
It
love
really
to have
does.
them animate that. What were you saying, Darrell?
A
I'm
lot
sorry.
of people would
you
love to
don't
see
know.
that.
I mean, I would love to see it, but the reason why I say no is because I know they're gonna do it fucking wrong and gonna omit a lot of shit that needs to be.
Huh.
Fair.
But yeah,
Some things are better left to text.
I almost feel like the Quincy's were like, I'm trying to think. There's something on the tip of my tongue that is in comparison to this, but it's like the Quincy's may have been like the protectors, and like the Soul Reapers were just, they really didn't do anything at that point, and then somehow, some way, they screwed up, and that's maybe why the Soul Reapers stepped in. But there again, it's like, what again? Where is this line? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, the Soul Reaper's primary job was to get spirits into Soul Society, and it seems like the Quincy's primary job was to just eradicate hollows that were out of control. And once you eliminated all the Quincy's, the Soul Reapers kind of have to pick up the slack there and do both jobs.
So they ended up doing both. So it was like, what happened with the Quincy's?
I might be way off base there, but
that's not a bad theory, because I mean, you
that's
sit
how
there.
It was.
You
sit
there.
Yeah,
and
the Quincy's had to have a reason for
having the abilities they built. Yeah, I agree that there was some role they played in this to keep the balance originally that they were meant to play, that it got skewed over time, and it got perverted, I should say, that their role and their purpose was perverted, and now we have this problem.
Yeah.
The understanding that I had from the original show was that the Soul Reapers always took care of hollows and people moving on, and that the Quincy's were a group of people who could not forgive hollows and wanted to get them destroyed, which threw off the balance. And that's kind of where that came into place. That's my understanding.
The interesting part of all this is that the hollows in general have played very little in terms of Yuabaha's grand scheme of thing. He's laser focused on the Soul Society and nothing else. So he is barely, I mean, except for the beginning where they invaded, Hueco Mundo and then slaughtered a whole bunch of Varankars. And it's not really clear whether or not that's even relevant at this point to him.
Well, the Stern Ritter don't seem to care. The Stern Ritter don't seem to care about the Quincy, about them. Although, with that sequence, they showed even less care for the Hollows than even the Soul Reaper. So I think there was at least some elements still
why
in
do Quincy's hate Hollows so much?
Again, my understanding is that they could not forgive the Hollows for the sins that they have committed. That was the explanation we got early on. How much of that is true, I don't know.
Oh, there's some real fire and brimstone types. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just something I've always that stuck with me from early on. Like we're talking like
I mean,
introduction of Uryu explanation. Like that's been there for a long
Mm.
time.
I'm assuming that probably answers the question. Then somebody went too far with killing these hollows, and it's just like, okay,
You're breaking the balance, guys.
you're breaking the balance, guys. You got to stop, and that's when Yamamoto stepped in, and basically, had to do what he had to do. I could understand if that happened.
Maybe the answer wasn't genocide, Yamamoto.
Well, that's true. That's
well,
true.
to be fair, back we've also shown Iwabaha was planning to invade the Soul Society anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
There was no avoiding.
They offered him a peace offering, and he slapped it aside.
Yep.
So there was no avoiding this. I don't think the Soul Reapers went straight to genocide. I think they kind of had their hands forced in a war.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree that they pretty much had no choice and they had to do what they had to do. But the karma of it all, so to speak, is this is what happened.
It's a messed up situation.
It's a mess. I mean, even if the Soul Reapers come out of this, it's going to take a while for them to repair the Soul Society.
You're kind of breaking the universe by killing all these hollows. Can you stop? No. Damn, man. I guess we gotta kill him.
I definitely think that the Seirete is going to be a different beast altogether coming out of this. I think it's going to have to change.
It should be, because there was a lot of things that were not quite right about the Seirete.
Oh, agreed. And perhaps that was, if you look on a water scope, maybe that's why this is all happening.
Well, and you have to also remember that Yuabaha killed Ichigo's mom, so he must have seen something
indirectly. He didn't go, aha, Ichigo's mother, you were going to die. He just did a massive Ashwailing because he was waking up and wanted power. And well, that had a lot. That was
totally indiscriminately, but
yeah. So,
but
it's not like he planned to kill Ichigo's mom specifically, but
I mean, I think all of this kind of culminated into Ichigo being what he is at this point, because it's like
it does.
Well,
there's got to be
Aizen to thank for it.
I hate to use the Star Wars reference, but there has to be some balance in the Force. So, it's
no, that's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point.
That balance is coming.
We've talked about, what's the payoff of Ichigo being everything.
Somebody's going to have to stabilize the reality at the end of this.
That is definitely a problem. Definitely a big problem.
And I'm wondering if Ichigo's even going to come out of this. So,
well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But before we move on, Steven, any thoughts about the conflict between the Soul Reapers and the Quincy's?
War is stupid. That's
Amen.
That's my assessment of all of this stuff and everything. It's like men had differences. Guys, people had differences in their lives, and they go throughout their life, and they couldn't talk it out, they couldn't do it, and some guy just said, hey, I can kill this guy and stop his ideas from spreading. And so they go on and they go on, and each one hates and harbors the other one. Yeah, and it gets more and more difficult from every generation. Everything goes farther and farther away. Like Yubaha is 1,000-something years old, and so each time that he was sleeping and everything else, things got more progressively inundated and dug in their corners and everything. And so he brought up the right thing of like, hey, your enemy is not us. Your enemy is what they call you. Your enemy is what they want you to think. They're going after us. They're taking us away. They whittled us down to this. And, in certain points, he was right. They massacred all of the Quincy. They did all of that stuff. But do you do that in order to get your point across. And it seems like it was a family issue that blew out into this whole thing. And should they have done that to his father, the Soul King? Probably not. Did the Soul King want it that way? That's what we don't know.
I think he volunteered.
Yeah, I think there's something in there that he didn't tell his son, and his son's gonna realize a bit later on, like, oh, you were right, Dad.
At the end of this, he's gonna be like Danny DeVito. I get it now.
Yeah. It's strange, and I always think of whenever people, even in the real world where there's wars and everything else and going on and everything, I think of the quote from Albert Einstein who says, because they asked him, "Hey, well, what will happen with World War III? What will happen with everything like that?" Because this was like after World War II or coming up to it, and he goes, "I don't know what World War III is going to be like, but I do know how World War IV is going to be fought with. It's going to be fought with sticks and stones." Because eventually you're going to wipe everyone out until it all restarts again. And I think that's what's happening with this. It's going to merge all three worlds into one. Ichigo it feels like they're going to train him to become the new Soul King. So he's going to either abrogate his life, sacrifice everything that he made to become Soul King, or he's just going to be, hey, I'm just a Soul King down the street, the substitute Soul King.
Soul King down the street. I love it.
And I don't know how it's going to play out, but I will want to see it on Toonami if it comes back to Toonami. Will I seek it out? Probably not. But this whole thing with the whole fight and everything and what they're trying to do, it feels like they're all one discussion away from solving the problem, but none of these guys want to solve anything. It's like a guy trying to figure out how to go down, to a place he's never been to. He's not going to ask for directions. He's just going to brute force it all the way through until he gets there, until he's forced to ask questions. And so this is what it is. It's just about a couple of bros trying to figure out their lives, and they're almost going to college, and they're like, they don't want to really be doing this, but they're going to have to fight it for their fathers. And if all the fathers get together, the Soul King, Ichigo's father, like all the fathers get together and solve it, it's some Father's Day reunion type stuff.
Oh my God, you lost me like half a metaphor ago. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of like how you skipped over Ryukin because he's not much of a father, is he?
Yeah.
Honestly, he's probably not as bad as we think he is.
No, probably not.
He wasn't so bad in
He's
that
no
flashback, at least. But he's no Ishin. That's for dang sure. Ishin's the GOAT. Oh, yeah. Oh. Dang, I had another thought and it just flew away. Soul King down the street. I love that. That's fantastic. I think we're all kind of in agreement that the most frustrating part about watching these past 40 episodes is the constant losses, the constant Quincy power bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I warned you guys it was going to be bad, but like, there's no way you can be ready for it.
Yeah, you can't be prepared for that much ass pulling.
No, it was just complete rage, man. I mean, seriously, like I raged so freaking hard, even though I had saw it in the manga, man. I was like, to see it animated just pissed me off even more.
Totally fair. I mean, you're reliving it, but it's still just as frustrating. Might even be more frustrating in retrospect.
It was literally the anime equivalent of suffering PTSD for me, man. Seriously.
Ooh.
That's how bad I can relate that at times because of what just went down with it. Like, I got to relive this shit again. Really?
Speaking of PTSD,
this is what we're
how
doing?
many the characters in this show are going to have it?
Yeah. No one's coming out clean.
Nope. There will be a lot of therapy.
Look, dude.
We're all going to need an emotional support, Quincy.
Emotional support Quincy required.
Exactly.
Ryu, get your ass over here.
But
Like,
the
seriously,
real
dude,
emotional support, Quincy, was James, right? That was his name, right?
Yeah.
The guy with the burly wrestling guy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That was an
Like,
emotional
seriously.
support,
I
Quincy.
will say these Quincy's have ridiculous designs in hilarious ways.
A lot of them are very fun, very clever. I still hate Nana Nincompoop.
Well, yeah.
just a terrible racist caricature. What were you thinking, Kubo?
I feel like with a lot of the Quincy's, the gimmick overcame design and purpose,
I would
and
agree with you on that.
and it's like it was a bit much.
And some of their extra forms are just why did he turn into a bird?
I like the one that
Because
turned into
reasons.
Dialga. That was pretty great.
That's
I
what I'm
wanna know
talking
that
about.
was. Yeah,
I actually
like,
thought that was pretty
for
fun.
the
because-
bird, he was like a Dialga. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? Come on now.
I mean, whatever it was, I loved how just diluted that character was all the way to the end. It was just kinda
Man,
great.
he was so diluted. It's like, wow, you a Baja, you could see the future, and you thought it was a good idea to give this guy powers.
I mean, it worked, didn't it? Until it didn't.
Until it didn't. Yeah, until it
It
didn't.
felt like all of these Quincy's were like made by, Bandai or Hasbro or something, and they all came with some like accessory that like attached to them, and that was their power. And it's like each one of them from A to Z had their own thing, and it's like they had to sell these toys, and it's like each one of them had to have like their own thing with it. Like I collect Common Rider items and everything, and each Common Rider has their own little like gimmick and everything. It feels like each one had their own gimmick, and like they had to all do it in their own way. And like Bandai is over there and Toei's over there, pump them out, man, let's go. Each one needs another one. Oh, give them this power. Oh, give them that power.
How about
And
the
it's
little
like-
cloaked figure turns out to be a hand?
Yeah. Hey, oh man, let's give them a hand. And they're like,
And it fights
"That's
with
it,
its
we got it."
nerves.
Yeah, it's like we got it. We can do all the hand puns, and then he like throws all the hand puns out. Yeah.
I mean, it was very handy.
It was.
It was.
He gave him the 5-finger discount.
Yes. Yeah, it had its ups and downs, but I would say overall it was an enjoyable experience. It was just week to week pretty frustrating. But I gotta see how it ends. And I'll be honest, I might just watch it on Hulu. Because who knows how long it's gonna take.
That is the $1 million question.
I mean, Rooster Fighter's already on Hulu, dub and sub. They get the dub on Hulu, so if Toonami's scratching their back, maybe. I don't think it'd be the same day, but it would be very nice if it's within a couple of months.
That'd be great. Yeah,
Just don't
Be a
make
great
us
way to
wait a
close out the year.
Don't do that.
I mean, it'd be great if we get it like September, October. It'd be great.
That would be very nice. But if they start rerunning it from the top, then you can rest assured that it's not happening that soon.
Yeah.
But that's okay,
I don't expect it. It'd just be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be very nice. It would be a nice surprise. As was Bleach returning it all. I think we're all still kind of wow. How did this happen?
In my bingo card, I did not have Bleach on Toonami. It was always a would love to see. Never expected, but here it is.
Here it is indeed.
I knew it was going to happen just like I was looking for was coming.
Well, you had greater faith than the rest of us. It would seem. Well, we don't have a lot of talkbacks, but I'll go ahead and rattle some of them off. Here we go. Anime Twin Princesses wrote in on Twitter. As a lifelong fan of Bleach, I absolutely loved this past season, and I'm so excited to see the final core on Toonami later. Simple, to the point. Good. Wolf Colt writes in, I've seen the Japanese version before, but it's still hype seeing the English dub. Place your bets that part 4 will come in 2027 or 4 episodes ahead of the Japanese version while the English dub premieres just like Attack on Titan did. Bold. A bold
Don't ever
theory.
make that damn Attack on Titan reference again, man. Get that shit out of here.
I mean, people were making Attack on Titan references because of Gerard, but
Yeah, well, fucking Attack on Titan.
Yoo-Hoo Dude on Blue Sky wrote in incredible animation and music with touching moments from some of the Soul Reapers. A little confusing at parts, but I give it an 8 out of 10. As long as part 4 sticks to landing, I'll be satisfied with the last arc overall. Just don't pull a Naruto and introduce a last-minute final villain. You know what I want? You know what I want? At the end, Aizen shows up and is like, yes, it was me all along.
That would actually be pretty fun.
I don't actually want that. Aizen
has his moments, man.
I don't expect that, but it would be funny.
And Sydney Williams wrote in on both Blue Sky and Twitter. Can't wait for the 4th final season of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. I'll be waiting for the physical release on Blu-ray probably next year. Hey, we'd love to see supporters of physical media.
Yep, all 3 cores that are out now are on Blu-ray.
Yeah. You can pick them up.
Well, I've been buying stuff. Gotta buy
I
it.
need to catch up on regular Bleach, otherwise I'd be running right to them.
We have
Yes,
a
you
couple
need
of
to.
comments in the chat that I'll go ahead and read off. First from Jeffrey Herrera. 1000 Year Blood War arc was all right. It had some good moments, but I did enjoy it. I'm looking forward to seeing part 4 when it concludes. And Mr. AJ Tibb has a longer comment. My opinions on the OG Bleach are that the canon stories are pretty good, but the filler brings the rest down really bad. But with 1000 Year Blood War, it feels like Kubo liked the filler and altered his writing to match it a bit. I'm looking forward to find the finale, but I'm kind of scared that I'm going to be more happy that it's over than happy that it finished. Yeah? Hopefully he doesn't take too much influence from that filler,
I
but
don't feel like he did, because this did not feel like Bleach filler to me at all.
no, not at all. I think all of the padding they added to this arc felt really genuine, and like if it wasn't there, it would feel like it was missing.
Yeah, I've from everything I've heard, whenever I talk about wasn't in the manga, it's because people have after I watched people reviewing like, oh, this was added, this was added. I'm like, if that was added, good lord, the manga must have been ridiculous without that.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Squad Zero. I really enjoyed Ichigo's brief training arc before he got in the hallway. The hallway was stupid. I didn't like that. But like going from place to place, going to the hot spring, getting the food, all of that was super fun. I enjoyed that. That was some much needed levity after.
Most definitely, man. And
sad
always him and Renji going at it.
Yeah, always him and Renji going at it.
I was like, the best frenemies ever, man.
Good. It's real good. Oh yeah, just a little aside, I forgot to mention. I find it somewhat important that there was a brief conversation between Ichigo and Uryu from some time back where Uryu talks about how he doesn't want to become a doctor. And his reasoning is it's honestly really dark. That if it might be the case that he ends up having to, examine his wife's dead corpse, then he doesn't want to become a doctor. Ooh, I mean, you can become a doctor and not do that. I mean, bro, nothing says you have to marry someone, or you just don't have to perform the autopsy on your own family. Just saying.
This is
But-
Uryu we're talking about, man.
Yeah.
Don't shit
But
make
it's so
sense to it
rare that we
sometimes.
see any kind of conversation between him and Ichigo where they're not just screaming at each other. So that was interesting. I also like Ichigo say, it's like, well, your dad's a doctor. It's like, is he though?
Technically.
Technically. I don't think he went to any kind of medical school.
So he's the Hirluke of Bleach.
Perhaps. Self-taught. Totally self-taught.
Damn quack.
I don't know. Maybe he ended up going to some school at some point, but they don't really talk about it. But yeah, that's a pretty significant contrast between. I forgot both of their fathers are technically doctors, or at least one runs a clinic and one is definitely a doctor.
True.
Yeah. We don't get too many glimpses into what's going on in Uryu's head, so that's. I'm not sure what that motivation would lead him to this really, really poorly thought out plan. But we've talked about that enough, I guess. But it was a really
The only
good-
thing I'll say in his defense is we don't know what he was actually trying to exactly get out of it. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that's true. We don't. And it's admirable for him to be like, no, I don't want the rest of you to be involved in this, but bro.
Yeah, like they were gonna not.
There's no way they're not going to be involved when the fate of reality depends on it.
Yeah, alright, I'm just gonna sit back and, Uryu's got a handle. I'll just drink some beer or something. Yeah, that sounds
And
like
boy, he
appropriate.
sure changes his tone quick. Was like, wait a minute. Yuabaha's asleep right now? Ichigo, go deal with that. I'll deal with this. Like, well, weren't you gonna go kill Yuabaha? Yeah, blah. You're the main character. Go deal with it. I got this
much.
one. It's like, okay, finally. It's about time you start talking sense. Kinda. And now we wait. Hopefully, not terribly long. But for those of us who are impatient, the next season starts in July.
I'm impatient. I'm totally gonna be on Hulu for that.
I can't fault you. I really can't. But meanwhile, I'm over here being like, I'm gonna get Dr. Stone back.
Oh,
I haven't watched any of that.
Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah, I've been trying to avoid spoilers. It doesn't always succeed. But it's okay. I'm managing. Managing pretty well, actually. Not too bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, that and Fire Force. I gave up on Fire Force. I've been watching Fire Force. Though I am behind now. But
Yeah, I need to watch season 3 beyond like a single episode.
yeah, I think same. I think maybe I saw 2 episodes. But yeah. That's all that. Anybody else have any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Let's see. One last thing was seeing Rukia's Bankai. Dude,
Oh,
That was
so
cool.
that was
fuck-
nice.
it was so fucking beautiful. I mean, dude, I was just like at that moment, and then Byakuya comes in and he kind of calms it down, and I thought it was a touching moment because this was like one of the first times that he actually recognized her, and he showed some brotherly concern for her. So it was actually a beautiful
Yeah.
moment, though. It really
It was
was.
a really good moment. And I was so worried that he was going to take that moment from her. But then he's like, no, she's your opponent. She'll take care of it. I'm like, yes. Yes. Love it. That was good stuff. And I hope Renji has another great moment because, man, losing to Uryu was such a downer. Such a downer. Even though he had some really cool moments. Like when he shows up and he's like, oh, it's just me, another villain. It's like, yes. Perfect. Perfect. There was some good Renji moments in this. And how can we not mention the just wonderful, wonderful banter between Kenpachi and Creepy Mayuri? Peak. Are you really asking me that? Or is it a rhetorical question? No, I'm really wondering. Are you asking me? Oh, I need just a lot more of that. It was so fun. So fun. Okay. You can email us at podcast@TsunamiFaithful.com. Follow us on Facebook.com/TsunamiFaithful Podcast and on Twitter @TsunamiPodcast. You can listen to the podcast on just about everything, including Apple Podcasts, CastBox, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. And you can find every episode of the podcast to stream online at the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus, SoundCloud.com/Tsunami Faithful Podcast. And get the latest news by following @TsunamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky and @Tsunami News on Twitter. And read the news, views, and reviews on TsunamiFaithful.com. Did I say that right? Oh, it's @TsunamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky. I think I said that right. Yeah, we did it. We talked about Bleach. And we're so happy to have Darrell with us to do that.
Glad
to
to
do it right.
Glad to be on tonight. I know, man, but I've been missing for like about a year or so now.
Yeah, man, it's been a while.
It has.
Yeah.
It may have actually been a Dr. Stone conversation the last time you were on.
And
No, I think you
it
had one
probably
time since then.
No, it was probably sometime before then, man. But I just really don't remember. Basically, if I'm not working or diving, man, I think I'm just kind of off in the loop, man, somewhere. I think basically work and diving takes up a lot of my time now, so it's been a thing though. Had some level ups with the diving, so what can I say? Getting ready to do some diving soon in April, and then in July I'll be doing a Rick dive in Pensacola, diving to Avocet. So it'll probably be my deepest dive to date, but worth it.
Well, thanks for coming up out of the water to join us today.
Hey, no problem, man. It's just surface interval for me.
Tell the folks where they can find you on social media.
As always, you can find me at ukami_samurai7 at twitter.com. And that's about it these days. I'm on Facebook, but not a whole lot. Like I said, my social media presence is kind of limited these days. But yeah, when I'm on the podcast, it's always glad to be around you guys for a second. Y'all bring me back to reality and save my life. Decompression there. But that's pretty much you people.
Well, we're happy to help you decompress. Steven, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on like every other social media platform known to man under MXA Ghost. You want to follow me? I don't care. You can follow me and listen to me talk about Kamen Rider or Yu-Gi-Oh! It's mainly Yu-Gi-Oh! But then I'll throw some weird other stuff in there that's like movie quotes or some like, odd tangential related song quotes in there, like one like sentence and it like what is he really thinking about? Is he like really deep? No, I'm not really deep. I'm like that person that like develops black and white photos at the local, Walgreens down the street and think, oh, they're really deep. They're not. They're not really deep.
All right. Laser, tell the folks where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKidPrime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid. And you find me on my podcast, Simmeldub Saints, where we talk about a whole bunch of Simmeldub anime with me and my podcast co-host Ark, who's over here sometimes.
Yes, he is. I'm sure he'll be back to talk Blue Lock and Tokyo Revengers again soon.
Probably.
Kuro, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Blue Sky, and you can find me on Twitter. Both, you can search Happy Kuro Kitty. It's just me, the only one, as far as I know. And Sketch, where can they find you?
You forgot Paul.
Paul, where can they find you? I'm really tired. It's
I
almost
will remember
11.
that. I will remember that.
All right, do what you gotta do, Paul.
Remember
Also, shut up, Darrell.
that.
Well, after he tells us that they can find him in bed in the next few minutes, where can they actually find you on social media?
Well, you can find me on social media at Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it is these days. At Paul Pascrillo.
It's
Same
Twitter.
thing on Blue Sky. And you can email me as usual, paulpascrillo@toonamifaithful.com if you have any comments, complaints, whatever. I don't usually see too much there, so thankfully
Never
none of
see
you really hate
emails.
me. So
Yes, we do.
You think that
Oh,
means
we hate you.
Okay.
you think no emails means no? All right, I'll let you live.
Bro,
in,
you are so fucking hated. I hate you.
Oh,
to
you
fucking
sweet
death.
summer child.
Oh, you poor unsharpened pencil.
Are you saying you
Bless
hate me,
your
Sketch?
heart.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
Bless
I
your
love you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here on a
Mm.
Sunday. I know that's tough for you.
No, Sunday's fine this week and should be fine for the next couple weeks, but we'll see.
Yeah. Good.
Sunday.
Sunday on
Sunday,
the
Sunday.
Toonami Faithful Podcast.
Oh, God.
I get to have double podcast duty Sundays now. I kind of like it.
Before Sketch gives you all his details, the live stream episode that we did on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember last week. That's episode 549 that will be going up tonight. So if you guys see that, no, that is not this episode that you're listening to now. That'll be later this week. I'm sure Sketch will have out.
I'll probably
Actually-
put it up on Tuesday, which will be Toonami's anniversary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Gonna do that.
So,
I mean,
okay.
I might put it up Monday, but I'll probably put it up Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that
So,
is
yeah,
to
you'll see
say,
that.
he just mentioned that episode was 549. So you know what that means? This is 550, everybody.
Woo.
And I couldn't be happier with the group of people that are here with me to celebrate that.
Aw, Sketch.
Aww.
Sketch, I'm coming over.
Oh, you ain't. Stay your ass at home.
Dude, this ain't COVID. I'm coming over there.
All right, you two can race to my home. We'll time it. Yeah, 550 episodes. Crazy, right? It goes a lot faster when we do every week.
Oh, yes.
We'd
It
be at
does
like
indeed.
600 by now if we had never done bi-weekly for a bit. So yeah, and our anniversary is also coming up, but that's in June? Yeah. That's in June. It's only March. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So you can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984 and also on Blue Sky, Sketch1984. And you know, when Kuro was doing her spiel, she said, "I'm the only one I could think of was a Tigger's a Wonderful Thing."
Oh, God. I had the same exact thought, but I decided not to do it.
And a Kuro's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. My head is not made out of rubber, though. Nor is my tail made out of springs.
But wouldn't it be fun if it was?
But I like to think I'm bouncy. I don't know how that translates. But fun. And the most wonderful thing about Tigers is, well, Kuros is I'm the only one.
Yay!
The only one. Yay.
So thank you all for joining us for this live podcast or listening after the fact in the podcast form, we hope you enjoyed our conversation about Bleach. It will unfortunately be some time before we really talk about Bleach again, but we hope you got your fill. I feel like we all did. And I do still intend to do a Dressrosa episode of One Piece. I was going to do it on the 17th, but I don't think that's going to happen. So probably do it on the Tuesday, the 24th. And we'll do it live.
It's
and I'll have
coming.
a special guest for that one too, but it'll be later. It's going to be late. It's going to be like 10:30 Eastern because I don't get home earlier than that because of my new work schedule. So if you want to be able to tune in for that one, bless ya. If you can't, you can always listen to the podcast afterward. We always appreciate your listenership, however you do. But it's been fun doing these live shows, getting some commentary from the peanut gallery in the chat, and occasionally pulling people in who are in the chat. So like, hey, you want to come on? Why not? It's flexible. It's nice. We like it.
Audience
it's fun.
participation is good.
Yeah, we love a little audience participation. Why aren't more of you emailing us and sending talkbacks? Our
Let's send
social
more
media
talkbacks.
team is so on it. I don't even have to ask them to put up a talkback post. They just do it. They just know when to do it. So shout outs to Steven and Brittany for always being on that. Really like
Brittany's a troublemaker.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Oh, don't worry about it. Me and Brittany pick on each other all the time about this. She knows why I do it.
Okay. I'm just going to leave that to y'all.
Yeah, we're in the
Yeah.
same damn city, dude.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I have some
I played
questions.
football. I played football with
I
her brother,
think I
man.
vaguely remembered that, but totally blinked on it.
Yeah.
Ah, that's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And Jeffries asks if there's a party who's buying the food and the booze. I guess probably me because I'm the most financially stable.
That sadly Drax.
Honestly,
You don't even
I
want
don't
to
think
know how much money I spend at Emerald City Comic Con. You don't even
Dude.
want to know. But it was a
I
good
don't
time.
think you want to buy booze, Sketch. I'm just gonna.
No, I
advise
do
against
not
that.
want you buying booze on my tab, Darrell. No.
I think if MomoCon was ever the indication of like what it's like to drink with me,
You're not allowed to get any alcohol whatsoever. We don't need you scaring more people.
the devil
True.
is a lie.
True.
That,
So yes.
that made me a legend, man. That has been the lore
And
of
the
Toonami
legend
Faithful for a
lives
long
on.
time.
The legend lives on, along with the
It is
crane,
always a great talking point.
along with Jose on a stick. Shout out to Jose! We made it to
Hey.
550, baby!
No thanks to you.
Mostly no thanks to you. How
Oh,
dare you
God.
duck out after 200?
Oh man, I miss picking on Jose. The 99 F bombs, Paul. We did it.
It was a good time. It's a good time.
The days of the law. Oh man. Well, are we good, people?
We are good. We've certainly had our fun. So, thank you all for listening. Please share the podcast with your friends if you think they would be interested. And until next time, 550 more. No, absolutely not.
Who's this?
Coming in 2030, the Bleach spinoff you've all been waiting for. Ryuken's past revealed in Everything But the Medical License.